Welcome to Knowledge Learning Center. Today I will present to you multiple choice questions about stoichiometry. Question number 1, a keyword in the definition of stoichiometry is A. Qualitative, B. Subjective, C. Descriptive, D. Quantitative. Which one is your answer? Okay. Solution. Stoichiometry is a branch of chemistry that involves using relationship between reactants and or products in a chemical reaction to determine desired quantitative data. Stoichiometry is a calculation in chemistry based on what a balanced chemical equation. It relates reactants and products quantitatively. Therefore, the keyword in stoichiometry is quantitative. Therefore, the answer must be what? D. Question number 2, the first step in any stoichiometric problem is A. Converting moles to liters, B. Changing grams to moles, C. Balancing the equation, D. Finding the mole ratio. Okay. Solution. Almost all stoichiometry problems can be solved in just 4 simple steps. The first one is balance the equation. Second, convert units of a given substance to moles. Third, using the mole ratio, calculate the moles of substances yielded by the reaction. Fourth, convert moles of wanted substance to desired units. So the answer must be what? Balancing chemical equation. Okay. Before we are going to calculate stoichiometry problems, first we must balance a chemical equation. ማንኛውንም stoichiometry problem ሶልቭ ከማድረጋችን በፊት የመጀመሪያው ስቴፓችን ሊሆን የሚችለው ምንድነው? ኬሚካል ሪአክሽኑ ባላንስድ ነው ወይስ አይደለም የሚለው ነው ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ መልሱ ምን ሊሆን ይችላል? ባላንሲንግ ዘ ኢኩዌሽን ኦር ሲ ይሆናል ማለት ነው። Which type of stoichiometry problem is essential to solving the other types ይለናል? A. Mass to mass, B. Mass to volume, volume to volume, moles to moles. Most commonly, we use the mole to mole conversion to solve other types of stoichiometric problems. We can solve mass to mass problems first by converting the mass into moles, the moles into what mass. And again, we can we can solve mass to volume problems first by converting the given mass into what moles and then what volume. And the volume also can be calculated by using what the mole to mole conversion. Therefore, the answer must be what? D. The answer must be D because commonly the mole to mole conversion is essential to solve the other types of stoichiometric problems. In mass problems, the steps to follow are best summarized as going from A. Grams to moles to grams. Okay. B. Liters to moles to moles to liters. C. Grams to grams to grams again. D. Grams to moles to moles to liters. So R, the problem is the mass in which the required is given in gram. The solution also must be expressed in gram. Therefore, the unit is expressed in gram. So we can choose the answer will be what? A or C. ስለዚህ እንደዚህ አይነት ጥያቄዎች ሲያጋጥመን መጀመሪያ ማስ ፕሮብለም ላይ ማስ measured in gram mass measured in gram ስለዚህ ጊቭናችሁ በማስ ኢንግራም ሊሆን ይችላል መልሳችሁም ማስ ኢንግራም መሆን አለበት ማለት ስለዚህ ማስን ሊለካ የሚችል ነገር ስለዚህ the last for example B and C cannot be what the answer because the last solution የመጨረሻው ሶልቭ ያደረገው የመጨረሻው መልሱ ኢን ሊትር ሊሆን ስለማይችል ቢና ሲ መልስ ሊሆን በፍጹም አይችልም ማለት ነው ስለዚህ መጀመሪያ የተሰጠን ግራም ነው ግራምን ወደ ሞል ሞልን ወደ ሞል ከዛ በኋላ መጨረሻ ላይ ያገኘነው ሞል ወደ ግራም እንቀይራለን ማለት ነው ስለዚህ ሞል ቱ ሞል ካልኩሌት አድርገን ያገኘነውን ሞል ወደ ግራም መቀየር ግድ ያስፈልጋል ማለት ነው እዚህኛው ጋር ግን ግራም ቱ ግራም ይላል this cannot be the answer why we convert the given gram to gram and gram to what grams there is no any kind of conversion to solve such kind of what problem therefore the answer must be what A let's see the solution in which in mass problem the mass of the reactant or product is given and the mass of another reactant or product is required it is done by using the following methods the following three methods the first one the given mass is converted into what mole the mole is used to find the unknown mole this unknown mole must be converted into what mass okay at the end you have to find out the mass of the unknown and the second step the given mass is converted into mole and the mole also is converted into what mass this is the mole mass problem and the last one we can directly find out the mass by using what you can find out the unknown mass by using the given mass of what the substance therefore the answer must be what A okay question number okay in a particular reaction one of the reactants determines the amount of products formed that is called as A limiting reagent B limiting product C excessive reagent D excessive reactant okay B cannot be the answer because there is no limiting product only we have limiting reactant and limiting product or limiting reagent or excess reagent okay there is no excess and limiting product therefore B cannot be what the answer must be A the answer should be what A C or D መልሳችን ሊሆን የሚችለው A C ወይም D ነው ማለት ነው በፍጹም B መልስ ሊሆን አይችልም ስትማሩ የተማራችሁት excess and limiting reactant እንጂ limiting and excess product የሚባል ነገር የለም ማለት ነው ስለዚህ መልስ ሊሆን የሚችለው A C ወይም D ነው ማለት ነው ስለዚህ the amount of product can be determined by the amount of the limiting reactant ስለዚህ the answer must be what A C and D cannot be the answer because C and D are the same excessive reagent means excessive reactant is similarity okay therefore the answer must be what the limiting reagent or limiting reactant okay let's see the solution limiting reactant used up in a reaction consumed in a chemical reaction and determines the amount of the product excess reactant added to ensure that the other reactant is completely used up and cheaper and easier to recycle some of this reactant left over when the reaction is what complete okay the answer must be A the answer must be A the answer must be A okay the answer is A Let's go to the next. Okay, the amount of product that should be produced based on stoichiometry calculation is A, actual yield, B, expected yield, C, percent yield, D, minimum yield. Okay, minimum yield and actual yield are the same. Okay, the calculated amount of the product from stoichiometric equation is the theoretical yield. Theoretical yield is the expected amount of the product, the calculated amount of the product, which is mostly greater than what the actual yield. And it is also known as what? The maximum amount of what the product. Okay, actual yield is the minimum amount of the product, and percentage yield is equals to actual yield divided by theoretical yield multiplied by 100. Okay, A and D are what? Similar, but B is the answer. Okay, percent yield cannot be the answer because the amount of product that should be produced based on stoichiometric calculations. The amount that we obtained by what calculation is not by experiment, it's not by procedures, it's not by what measure. It is the calculated amount of the product from a balanced chemical equation is theoretically. Therefore, the answer is A. Okay, let's go to the solution. Theoretical yield is the amount of product we expect. We calculate it based on stoichiometric calculations. Actual yield is the amount of product from a procedure or experiment. Okay, experimentally measured amount of the product. Usually, actual yield is given in the question. Percentage is actual yield divided by theoretical yield multiplied by 100%. Therefore, the answer is B. Expected yield is stoichiometric, calculated from a balanced chemical equation, or it is known as what theoretical yield, or it is also called what the maximum amount of the product. The percent yield of products form a chemical reaction is the ratio of percent yield equals to actual yield divided by what? Theoretical yield multiplied by what? 100%. Percent yield of products from a chemical reaction is the ratio of actual yield to expected yield, theoretical yield, the maximum yield. A, C, and D are the same. Okay? No. I'm sorry. A, expected yield, that means theoretical yield divided by actual yield. This is wrong because percent yield is the risk profile of this one. Okay, A, the risk profile of what? A. B, actual yield to expected yield. This is correct. Okay, actual yield to minimum yield and actual yield are what? The same. Expected yield to minimum yield is what? Similar with A. A and D are what? The same because minimum yield is actual yield. Therefore, A and B cannot be the answer. C also cannot be the answer because actual yield. So what? Actual yield, that means minimum yield is actual yield. Therefore, the answer is what? B. Okay, solution. Percentage yield is actual yield divided by theoretical yield. Actual yield divided by minimum yield. Actual yield divided by maximum yield. Actual yield divided by the expected amount of what? The product. The answer is B. Okay, actual yield divided by expected yield. Okay, the number of moles of a reactant or product is determined by dividing its mass by what is number of mole. Number of mole is equals to the given mass or required mass divided by what? The molar mass of the substance. Therefore, uh, dividing its mass, that means given mass or required mass, by the molar mass is the number of moles. Okay, a Avogadro number cannot be the molar mass of the substance. Yes, the volume of the substance. No, the molar reactants of the to the product. This is not the answer. The answer must be what? B. Because number of molecules so given or required mass divided by molar mass. The answer is B. Okay. What is the term that represents the sum of the atomic mass of the atoms in 1 mole of a compound? A. Atomic weight. B. Relative mass. C. Density. D. Molar mass. Okay. A and B are what? The same. Okay. Relative mass, or simply atomic weight or atomic mass are what? Similar phrases. C. Density cannot be density equals to mass over volume. But the answer is D, molar mass. Molar mass is the mass of 1 mole of the substance. Let's see the answer. Okay, atomic weight or atomic mass is the total weight of an atom. It can be found by multiplying the abundance of an isotope of an element by the atomic mass of the element and then adding the results. Is similar with what? Relative atomic mass, average atomic mass, or simply atomic weight or atomic mass. Is the ratio of the average mass of what? Atoms of an element. Okay. Density is mass per unit volume. Molar mass is the mass of 1 mole of the substance. Therefore, the answer is D, molar mass. Okay, in using balanced equations to solve mass problems, the mass of each reactant is first converted to the mass of each reactant is first converted to what? Moles. Moles. Okay, converted to what? Moles. As we have seen previously, how can we solve a mass problems? The methods that we use to solve the mass problem is here. Okay, first the given mass converted into mole, the given mass converted into mole, or can be directly converted, can be directly use the given mass to calculate the unknown mass. Okay, these are the methods that we use to solve mass problem. Okay, in using, therefore the answer is what? C. The answer is C. Which concepts allows you to relate the coefficients of a balanced chemical equation to actual amount of reactants or products. Okay, which concept? A concept that allows you to relate the coefficients of a balanced chemical equation to actual amount of reactants or products. Okay, why we balance a chemical equation? Why we balance a chemical equation? We balance a chemical equation to obey the law of conservation of mass. How can we balance a chemical equation? By changing the coefficients of what? The reactants and products. Okay. Therefore, the coefficients of a balanced chemical equation to actual amount of reactants or products uh, related by what? The law of conservation of mass. Okay. Solution. The law of conservation of mass states that the number of atoms in the reactant side equals to the number of atoms in the product side, or it is stated as what? The mass of the reactants equals to the mass of the products in a chemical equation. That's why we balance a chemical equation, okay? When we balance a chemical reaction, we change the coefficient number. Therefore, the answer must be what? D. conservation of mass is allows you to relate the coefficients of a balanced chemical equation to the actual amounts of reactants of products. The amount of reactants of products means the mass and number of atoms of the reactants and products. Okay, in a chemical reaction, the total mass of the products compared to the total mass of the reactant is A always equal, always smaller, always larger, sometimes smaller, sometimes larger. According to the law of conservation of mass, the total mass of the products is equals to the total mass of the reactant. This is always off. Okay, therefore the answer must be what? A. The answer is A. Okay. In a balanced chemical fusion, the molar ratio of two reactants is determined from the A number of atoms in each reactant, B coefficient for each reactant, C number of grams of each reactant, D liters of each reactant. How can you determine the molar ratio of what two reactants? Molar ratio means mole of the reactant divided by what? The mole of what? The reactant or any other substance, the product or reactant. So again, mole ratio calculated as what? Mole to mole. Okay, therefore, the mole of the reactants and products are the coefficients for each reactants and products. Therefore, the answer must be what? B. In a balanced chemical equation, the molar ratio of two reactants or products is determined from the coefficients of the reactants and products. Therefore, the answer is what? B. Understanding stoichiometric relationships enables you to A. Describe if a reaction is possible, B. Discover new elements, C. Predict amount of new products formed, D. Eliminate all toxic chemicals. Okay. Understanding stoichiometric relationships enables you to determine what amount of substances should react together and enables to predict how much product will be what of it. Okay, the amount of substance react together and predict how much product will be formed. Okay, ስለዚህ a stoichiometric relationship enables you to determine the amount of reactants react together and enables to predict how much product will be what obtained. Therefore, the answer must be what? D. The answer must be D. Okay, which of the following is not true regarding balanced chemical equations? A, they contain the same number of atoms on each side. B, electrons are also balanced. An equal number of molecules on both the sides. D, follows the law of conservation of mass. Okay, a balanced chemical equation follows the law of conservation of mass. This is true. And the mass, the number of atoms, the number of neutrons, the number of electrons, and the number of protons in both the reactant and product side is what? Balanced or equal. Okay, mass is conserved, number of atoms are conserved, number of electrons, protons, and neutrons also are what? Conserved in a chemical reaction. But the number of molecules, the number of moles, volume may not be conserved, may not be what? Equal in a balanced chemical equation. Therefore, A, they contain the same number of atoms on each side. This is correct. This is true. Electrons also are also balanced. This is correct. C, unequal number of molecules on both sides may not be what correct. D follows the law of conservation of mass. This is correct. The answer is what? C. Okay. Uh, okay. Let's consider the reaction between hydrogen and oxygen to produce water. Okay. Reaction, hydrogen and oxygen combine to give what? Water. This is a balanced chemical equation. From this balanced chemical equation, we can determine the number of atoms, mass, electron, proton, neutron, moles, molecules, and volume. Okay, a balanced chemical equation tells us about, tells or give us information about what? The number of atoms, the mass, electron number, proton number, neutron number, moles, molecules, and volume of what? Both the reactant and products. For example, 4 atoms of hydrogen is combined with 2 atoms of oxygen to produce 4 plus 2 atoms, okay, which is 6. Number of atoms in both sides are equal. And the mass, 4 gram of hydrogen is combined with 32 gram of oxygen to produce 4 gram plus 32, which is 36 gram. The number of electrons, 4 electrons, 16 electrons, uh, produce what? 4 plus 16 electrons. And the number of protons also is what? The same on both sides. 4 plus, uh, sorry, this is protons. This one also is protons. This is the number of protons. Okay, number of protons in the right-hand side, 4 protons plus 16 protons give 4 plus 16 protons. And the number of protons, 0 neutrons, gives 60 neutrons. Neutrons give us 0 plus 16 neutrons, okay? Moles, look, 0 plus 16 is 16, 0 plus 16 is 16. In both the reactant and product side is the same. 4 protons plus 16 protons gives 20 protons. 4 plus 16 protons in the product side, 20 protons. Okay, the same in both sides. The number of electrons also are the same, but the number of moles, molecules, and volumes may not be equal in both the reactant and product side. Look, 2 plus 1 is 3 moles in the reactant side, but 2 moles in the product side, not equal. 2 molecules plus 1 molecule is 3 molecule, give us what? 2 molecules of water, not equal. The volume also in both sides is not equal. This implies the number of moles, molecules, and volume may not be conserved during chemical reaction, but the number of atoms, mass, electron, proton, and neutron are conserved during chemical reaction. Therefore, the answer is C. An equal number of molecules on both the reactant and product side. This is false. Okay, this is enough for today. Next time, I'll show up with other multiple choice questions, especially the calculation part. Thank you for watching.